Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Christian,
It's your boy D Young, and
and
this
this is
is
Word on the
Word
Block.
on the Block.
So episode 3, I think episode 1 and 2 went well, don't you think?
Yeah, I really liked episodes 2 topics we talked about.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things to talk about, especially with everything going on these days.
Yep.
So we're gonna keep this going, and then if you guys have anything you guys want us to talk about or to address, it could just be anything in general. Just let us know, hit us up, leave it in the comments. And if you have not, make sure to subscribe to the channel. So one of the things, obviously every week we've been talking about a lot of like controversial topics with the protest and all that type of stuff. A big thing that a lot of people are kind of throwing around these days is defunding the police. And that's a topic that a lot of people are putting up on their signs whether at protest, or it's one of the conversations that has been happening a lot more this past week.
Yep.
Give us your thoughts on that, bro.
When people say defund the police, I think a lot of people who don't really look into it misinterpret it as having no police at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I've heard a lot of people talk about like, what are you gonna do when you defund the police and there's no more police?
Yep.
And then I never really looked into it until about like a week ago, and then I looked into it, and it's really just saying that they're not gonna just cut off the police, the police system in, like, for example, Minneapolis or something. It's more about moving the money around and just instead of just putting it all into the police system, it's more about passing it on to like the money going towards education or like working with poverty and all that. I think for me wise, I know in St. Paul they've already done defunding in the St. Paul police system. From what I know,
Yep.
Don't correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we should defund the police. That is my stand on it. Not to get if people get riled up from what I feel, because just seeing how the police already handled the rioting and the looting, there wasn't enough force. Because you remember that one night when it was like a Friday night, because they started looting on like a Wednesday, and then on that Friday night, like shit went off the ceiling, and it was like the police were gone from like when they started the curfew from like 8 to like 6 in the morning. At 8 o'clock till 12, Minneapolis was getting trashed around and all that, and then there was no cops or anything until like 12 a.m. And that's when they started coming by the busloads, and I was like, yo, where are the cops at? With all this happening, I understand they were trying to stay at home to show that, we're going to follow curfew laws too, but it was happening for like 4 hours. And from that span, a lot of stuff was getting broken into. A lot of stuff was getting stolen, burnt down. And defunding the police, I don't think it's going to help anything. I know the rioting and looting has gone down significantly a lot, but it was just retaliation. It was, looting and rioting had nothing to do with what's it called? Protesting. But to me, I don't think defunding the police will help anything at all. I think if anything, we should keep it the same, or maybe even raise it up higher, so that we could have, instead of defunding the police, how about we, with the money we have now or more, how about we bring in more training in order to make the police more, take out the bad ones and bring in the good ones, train them more, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think you have some points there that are valid, which is moving the money around from what is happening right now to more training. Because right now, police, they only need about like 6 months of training compared to other countries. It's a couple years, So pretty much you could just be like graduate high school, jump to police training, and then, you could be a police officer. And so that's not enough time for someone to be able to, in my opinion, not enough time for someone to be able to actually really be someone of like a student of the craft, to actually be someone that actually is good at what they do. 6 months, you're already a police officer. That's crazy. You're putting your life on the line after 6 months. That's way too soon. And there's a lot more that goes on into the de-escalation and all that type of stuff. And so if and they're not even taught that. Like I think one of those things, as far as de-escalation, is not even mandatory for you to take as a police officer.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy for that to be there. I think we need to be able to move stuff around to be able to um, use the funding to be able to help train these guys a lot better in mental health
Yeah.
and de-escalation and just helping the community out more rather than just what's going on right now.
Yeah. So you kind of stand where I stand too, then.
I mean, to be honest, I gotta look at the numbers. I don't know the numbers exactly. I know right now what's gonna happen though is St. Paul. I know that they are defunding at least, or they're proposing at least 20 mil. And then Minneapolis, they've already lost a bunch of contracts with a lot of local places, so that's already looking at like a couple mil, hundreds of mils being taken away from Minneapolis for sure. And then around the country, I'm sure there's gonna be some other places that are gonna look at defunding the police, because right now, I mean, especially with the thing that just happened in Atlanta, with the guy that was drunk driving, and got shot down by police.
Like, he got shot in the back, right?
Yeah, he was running away. He got shot in the back.
Wasn't it Rashad?
Yeah, I forgot his last name. Yeah. Rashad something. But yeah, I mean that's pretty crazy, right? I mean, there's no reason. Even yes, he was guilty of drunk driving, sure, but he don't need to die for that, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that police need to be able to find a better way to be able to communicate and to be able to really show that they're on the side of the community and they are protecting the community. Because right now, it does not seem like that. Even though there are some, I think a majority right now, it does not seem like that. Like you saw that clip of that little kid playing basketball. He went to go hide behind the car when he saw police coming through. That was wild, bro. I was like, man.
You have to send me that after.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. He's just shooting hoops. He hears a car coming, and then he's like, he looks, and then he runs behind his the car in the driveway to hide. The car passes a police car, and then he comes back and just starts shooting hoops again, and he's black. Yeah. So he's just scared, you know? It's like, that's freaking crazy.
It's kind of like what we were talking about where last episode, I believe, where it's like, you know, we don't have that talk with our parents about being watch out for the cops, you know?
Yeah.
Watch out what you do, watch what you say, watch every move, you know?
Yep. But yeah, I think overall, I think we both agree that there needs to be more training for police. As far as funding the police, I mean, I think there's a conversation to be had there. I think we really need to look at the numbers and seeing where that defunding goes, if that were to happen, or if there were to be more funding for the police. How does that look like too? We don't really know yet. So I mean, we can't just say that type of stuff. But we do have to look at the numbers. We do have to look at the initiatives that are going to happen. I mean, to be honest with you, I do think a lot of the budgets from cities go to police force, which, you know, I guess you could defend depending on, you know.
I think this is like I mean, it's a part of the topic, but I read something online about how they can defund education so much quicker than they could defund the police system, and that kind of was a big big eye opener to me, where it was like, you know, that's very true. You know, they cut education by so much, but yeah, when it comes to cutting the police system and all that, it's harder for them. You know, how are we going to be able to cut education over that? And, you know, there's arguments on both sides, whether like, oh, you need police more than education, but at the end, you need an education to even become a police officer.
Dude,
you know,
just look at the way the government handles their money. Most of that money went to military or defense, right? Mm-hmm. But then we don't have any money in our like issues when pandemics come about or when this or that comes about. Most of our money goes to military and defense. So, I mean, I guess it's just how our government and people of power are wired. You know, I mean, that's a way that they keep the power, you know, too, at the same time.
If any defunding we need to do, honestly, it's a big thing to say, but I think it's our government officials and who's up there running our country.
Yeah.
I would have to say that's a big factor too. Just like how you say, it's really who's running our country that's deciding what's going to happen to our country.
Yep. You mean, so are you talking about the president? Are you talking about Congress?
Yeah, people in office right now. Not like state-wise, but just the country-wise for us. Just like the president's office and all that, you know?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Cause
I'm
I
not
don't.
too knowledgeable in that area, but I have read enough, not just off of Facebook, but like actually doing my own research to know that our system is kind of messed up. Our
Yeah,
our system is messed up. I am. I'm not. I'm gonna say it. I think our president now has opened up the eyes to a lot of people to see how messed up our system is.
yeah. I mean, for him to be able to do what he's done
Yeah,
and be a free man right now, it's pretty crazy, man.
yeah.
So
To be the president, bro.
yeah, exactly. So all that, it's too crazy to me. But yeah, I'm not too knowledgeable on salaries of political or people in office, things like that. So I can't really say too much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, moving on. So our boy Jimmy O Yang, you know who Jimmy O Yang is?
Comedian,
Have you seen
Chinese.
Have you
Yep.
seen him in his movies and stuff like that?
I've seen a lot. I've watched his stand-up comedies for like the past 5 years. I've never seen him in movies,
Gotcha.
but I do know of him and who he is.
He's
Dude is a
funny.
pretty funny dude.
He's funny as hell. So he just released a stand-up special on Amazon Prime Video. So go check that out if you have not. Super funny. And then he also was on Crazy Rich Asians. He's also
Oh yeah, he was.
he's
Yeah.
on the new show Space Force, which is on Netflix with Steve Carell from The Office. So
I
that
think it's so funny that they made that stupid show.
so there's
That's a
that.
pretty funny show.
And then he also was on one of the popular shows called Silicon Valley, which is he's super funny in that show. They made him have to be like a Asian accent nerdy dude, but he's like his defense was like, well, when I came over, I was kind of like that, so it makes sense. But I mean, now he's just killing it. And so he was just on a Joe Rogan show. Joe Rogan has the biggest podcast, if you have not heard. And so Jimmy O Yang was featured on there, and both of them are stand-up comedians, so they were talking about a lot of stuff like that. But there was a moment where they talked about his dad and how his dad is also, or after his dad wasn't really fond of his career path, as most Asian parents wouldn't be, which
Yep.
his dad didn't really understand what stand-up comedy was at the time. And so once Jimmy O Yang started getting some success, his dad I was a little bit proud of him at the same time, but his dad also was like, well, you're really not that funny. Maybe I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so his dad actually became an actor at the same around the piggybacking off of Jimmy O Yang, because I think nowadays people are looking for Asian dads and stuff like that. So it's just easy for him to be able to transition into that. And so he's an Asian dad on a couple places. His dad also had a big role in the big TV show in China. His dad was even on Space Force on Netflix. So that's pretty crazy. But there's this one clip. Do you want to explain the clip?
Basically, he opens up about his relationship with his dad and how at his was it at the MGM? It was MGM, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it was in Vegas, and he was talking about how like, oh, you know, Chinese people know about Vegas. Chinese people love Vegas, you know. And he was saying something about how his friend came up to his dad at the end of the show and asked Jimmy's dad, "Your son is so funny. Aren't you proud of him?" And then in front of everybody, his dad goes, "You're not funny. Your jokes aren't funny. I don't get it." But then, from what Jimmy was saying, he was saying how his dad was probably joking with him in a harsh way, you know. And like the way he said that, I was like, "Oh yeah, I totally freaking relate to this."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think if anything, it's all tough love, and that's what that video to me was kind of conveying. How his dad was kind of tough on him growing up, like the story about him talking to that one that white girl he had a crush on or something in band class or orchestra class, and now he looked at his dad for like approval, like, "Hey, look at this," and then he was like, she's out of your league. And then I was like, oh my God, dude, everything this dude is talking about is just like on point. I totally understand it. It's not even a Chinese thing. I think honestly, overall, it's an Asian thing.
Yeah,
you know,
it's definitely an Asian thing. I could definitely relate to everything he was saying. But
yeah, even the part where he was like, my mom was supportive of me, and I was like, oh yeah, I totally understand that part too.
Yeah. It's definitely an Asian thing. I think definitely even though Jimmy has reached the success that he has, his dad's still like, you know, I could one up you, or I I could do this or that too, and you're not really that funny. Like, I could see all that. I felt that too. I think when I started my own business, both my parents were like, "No way, like you can't do that." And then my dad was, I think, to be honest, I felt like my dad was like, he didn't want me to because he didn't want me to reach a level past him at all. And then I kind of felt that, but he didn't say that outright. I just kind of felt that. And I think that Jimmy O Yang and talked about that with Joe Rogan, was like, there's a little bit of that competitiveness between his dad and him. And just this is an Asian dad, like they don't want you to really one up them ever. Which is I can see across the board, and not only in my life but a lot of other people's life too. So it's pretty crazy to see that. And the funny thing about the interview was, like, once Jimmy got done like venting, he's like, "It's okay, Joe. I'll be okay, man."
Yeah, he was comparing it to like a movie. He was like, "I won't cry. I won't cry."
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's seen Good Will Hunting, but yeah, he compared it to one of the scenes in there. So make sure to go check out that podcast with Jimmy O Yang. Jimmy O Yang, super funny. Make sure to check him out and everything else. He's a real cool dude. He actually, whenever we post about him on 81st Ave on IG, he likes all the pictures too. So he's a real cool dude, man.
So he even sees our stuff.
Yeah, he does. Every time, like when
That's dope.
when he posted about his new movie on space, or his new show on Netflix, when he posted about his special, he liked all of it. Showed some love. So that's what's up. So shout out to Jimmy O Yang.
Showing love. Shout out.
Yeah. Cool. Obviously, there's some big news in the sports world, which is NBA is planning to reopen July 30th.
Dude, I was reading into it, and they're already planning to do. Are they trying to start playoffs in September or end it?
So they're gonna play 8 games first, 8 regular season games to get everybody back up to speed, and then they'll start the playoffs. I don't know when the playoffs start. I don't know their date.
Yeah.
But so they're gonna be out in Orlando, and they're gonna have, I believe they get 2K lounges with TVs, game rooms, all that type of stuff. VIP concierge, I think that's how you say it. 24 hours. And they get barbers, tattoo artists, all that type of stuff on deck. And
damn.
What else did they get? They get a bunch of other stuff too.
I got it right here. Well, not that. It says NBA looks on track to restart season in July, possibly in Orlando, playoff done by early September.
Yeah, so they're only gonna play till October, early October. So finals is early October. Then they start again in December for the new season. But yeah, so they're getting a kind of like a lavish little welcoming to Orlando. But there's some guys that are against it, such as Kyrie Irving and Dwight Howard and some other dudes.
I swear in the Game of Thrones, the Game of Zones, they even talked about Kyrie wanting to start a new league in the freaking show. Yeah. And I was like, yo, it's like the Simpsons predicting the future, dude. I was like, oh, hell no.
That show is funny as hell. But
bro.
To be honest, I don't think it's that crazy of an idea that they think it's the only league. Because the NBA is like the only league where like the top 100 players.
Yeah.
You know, if you see them, you know who they are, the top 100 players. But you can't say the same with baseball. You can't say the same with hockey. You can't say the same with NFL. You know, so I think NBA and soccer are probably the only ones that could do that. So the reason why I bring that up is because, let's say like a player like LeBron James leaves the NBA and partners up with Jeff Bezos to create their own team and league, and so they get Jeff Bezos and LeBron on one team, Kyrie and Mark Zuckerberg create their own team.
That would be crazy.
Elon Musk and
LeVar Ball,
James Harden create a team. You know, like they could do that because they have enough money and they have enough brand awareness. And let's say the best player left in the NBA is like let's say like Karl Anthony Towns. Like not many people are gonna watch the best player be Karl Anthony Towns versus a LeBron-led league. So it's possible, but I think that's far-fetched at the moment. But a lot of people, what do you think? You think they should start, or because I think the argument is this: Kyrie's saying that they should not start because it will take away the spotlight of systematic racism that they are fighting at the moment. Your thoughts?
For me, man, honestly, I would end the season and start off anew next year. I wouldn't start it over again because we've already seen an influx. Because this all correlates to, just like you said, what Kyrie said, and also correlates to the freaking COVID-19. You see states opening back up, and you see an influx of cases of the COVID-19 happening again. And I think if they were to just hold off and just cancel the season, it would just let the world relax a bit longer instead of trying to get back into this train and running it again when we don't even know what's happening still. Because we're living day to day, just hoping we don't get sick now. And with the NBA starting up again, I think that with players already getting sick, and I think NFL players are just getting. I think just this past week we saw a few NFL players getting sick again.
Dallas.
And I'm just like, yep. And I'm just like, I think it's too soon, man. I still think it's too soon, even though we've been on quarantine for the past since March, and they finally lifted off the quarantine. I still think it's too much, man. I don't think it's ready. I don't think the world's ready yet.
So your reasoning is because of COVID?
Yeah.
Not because Kyrie. Because
of what Kyrie is saying too. I do want to. He already went off on it, and I don't want to go more off on it because we've already talked about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's my other reasoning.
So let's break this down. So yours is COVID. Kyrie is about systematic racism, which you agree with. Taking a spotlight away from that, which I can understand. But to combat that, I would say that COVID-19, yes, I agree. I think it is too soon because of all that happening. There's no cure yet. But I think the NBA has a good system in place. We don't know yet, but they have a good system in place where there's no fans. There's only going to be them that they're going to be interacting with. Everybody has to get tested. And they'll be stuck there in that area. They can't leave that place until the end of the season. So they'll be stuck there for about 3-4 months.
That's crazy. All the NBA teams?
Yep.
That's crazy, bro.
Yep. No one can come in.
Orlando,
no one can get out. No one can come in. No one can get out. So they're stuck in a bubble. That's why they have all those amenities that I was talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. So I think that will be enough to be safe. And everybody has to get tested pretty much every time before you play. You have to get tested pretty much.
Just imagine getting haircuts every freaking week, getting tattoos when you want, 2K every day.
Yep. So I think the COVID thing, I think they got that handled. I think the systematic racism thing, that's the biggest issue that they're highlighting. I think that right now, I mean, one of the things that you know who Austin Rivers is?
Yeah.
So he said that he understands what Kyrie's trying to say, but not everybody makes the money that Kyrie makes. I agree with that. Not everybody makes the money that Dwight Howard has made. There's guys that are 10th, 11th, 12th place on the team that don't get checks like those two do. And so pretty much this is how they eat, But also at the same time, you could take that money because if you don't go play, you're missing out on pretty much the whole NBA is going to miss out on a couple $1 billion. Mm-hmm. And so you could take that money that you're going to make from this pretty much the end of the season here, and you can use that to fight systematic racism. Plus, every day you're on TV, and you can use that to be your platform to talk about systematic racism, And there'll be
that's what people are going to debate with me, but that's what Kaepernick did, and he got a lot of backlash.
But look, it's a different time now because he did it when not as many people were accepting it. I think now a lot of people are more aware. And the NFL has even came out and said they're okay with people kneeling now. They said that they were wrong and they're okay with people kneeling now. And a lot of people in the NFL are saying that they're going to kneel now too.
He's going to get signed. Watch.
Say that again.
Kaepernick's going to get signed. Minnesota, watch.
No, he's not. He's not going to Minnesota. The Chargers said they might pick him up.
Seattle or Chargers?
Yeah, I mean Seattle. He's going to be behind Russell Wilson, but Chargers. He might have a chance. But yeah, man, I think they should go back and play. I think that because I think that's what the world needs right now. I think they need to kind of. I mean, sports just makes everything better, bro. I think the world kind of needs that right now with everything that's going on. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's gonna take away anything from the systematic racism that's going on. I think it will just really highlight it because most of the league is African American, and so they're gonna be able to be the people that are gonna really be able to help.
Speak their minds, speak the
their
people's
minds, and
voice.
this is going to give them a platform to do so. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, I mean, right now, I think that's going to do a lot more than them sitting at home and just chilling,
doing nothing. Yeah.
And they get to make money at the same time, which they could pour back into fighting against systematic racism too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my thoughts on.
Yeah, good point, man.
Yeah. Who are you excited to see?
Damn, bro. When you told me my homie Luka's getting fat, I'm just like, oh, man. I mean, he might not play the same. Did you see LeBron, bro? LeBron's like all bulked up now, too.
Duh, bro.
LeBron's been working on his body, bro.
LeBron not sleeping. He getting the championship this season. That's why he's about it.
I think the person I want to see go off the most, the two people, I think in the finals, they're going to be LeBron and Giannis. I'm going to call it right now.
You think they're going to play in the finals?
Yeah. I'm gonna call it right now.
Yeah. I mean, the Bucks were killing it this season.
Shoot, Toronto too without Kawhi.
Yeah, but then they're not gonna. Nah, they nah.
He's not gonna. He's not. No one's there to shoot.
They don't have enough. They don't have enough star power. I think.
Yeah. Shoot, man. If Houston had big bodies, Houston would be a contender.
Houston running people though because they're all small balls. They running.
They're small, bro. But when you play against LeBron and them, bro, come on.
Yeah.
Am I right though? You put their bodies against LeBron and their bodies, it's like.
I don't want to call you out, but Rockets beat the Lakers earlier this season with a small ball lineup. So.
But when it comes to playoffs, you know it's a different game. You know it.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Playoffs is a different game, bro.
You can't say it's a given.
And also with like Kobe's death, rest in peace, Kobe and Gigi. You already know LeBron's fire is up there higher.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. LeBron is Mr. Clutch, man. I hate to say it, but he is the GOAT of our generation.
Maybe yours.
There was Jordan, Kobe,
maybe yours,
and LeBron.
Not mine.
Hey, you know it's true. Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and there's gonna be Giannis after.
It's not seductive, but my goes Kobe. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, man. So summer 2020, we're in June. What you got planned? I mean, pretty much everything's canceled. Coachella,
dude, to be honest,
EDC everybody's trips, everything's canceled, homie. What are you planning to do?
I got camping trips lined up with few amount of people that I've been interacting with already.
Man,
to be honest, dude, all I've been doing is camping. You better stop right now. You don't.
I ain't getting no invite.
Stop right now. Camping, fishing, and just a lot of outdoors, man. I played basketball like last week, but I was too scared to go out.
No invite.
Bro, you were working, bro.
Whatever.
You were working.
Whatever.
And also, I think that's all my plans, man. I don't have much planned because, like you said, 2020 is canceled, bro. Like, we're Hmong. I play flag football and basketball. I was looking forward to our Olympics, the soccer tournament in J4.
Our Olympics,
and
yeah.
That's canceled. So I'm just like, dude, there's no point in me, like, practicing or anything. I could be getting in shape, but I'm kind of enjoying my quarantine body. It's kind of fun. Playing Modern Warfare and Warzone. I know y'all hopping on that, people, whoever watches this. That's my plans.
Yeah, bro. That's cool. I mean, I guess it's just really just enjoy the people around you because we're not going nowhere.
This is a time to restart, too. This is a restart in life for a lot of people. I think we should take that into consideration also, man.
I agree. I think that's something that I've taken advantage of is just the amount of time here back at home where, a lot of meetings and stuff like that are canceled. So you just get some downtime to just really just learn new skills, learn new things, get better at stuff that you already were good at, but to really hone in your craft to learn more. I mean, I think I've learned a lot during this quarantine, especially with everything going on that's putting pressure on all of us to learn and to just think a lot more about. So, I agree with that. Summer 2020 for me, man. I mean, I would like I said, I hope the NBA comes back so we can actually start watching some sports. But I think there's a lot of business things going on, so I'm excited about that stuff. And I got some plans of getting out on the lake and stuff like that. I think there's gonna be a lot more people on the lakes this year, like
Yeah.
small little.
And you know what the
small little
sad part is? They already closed down a lot of lakes in Minnesota.
Yeah,
That's the sad part,
beaches
bro.
are closed too and stuff like that. So there'll be some probably some hiking, some pontooning and stuff like that in the cards, but nothing too crazy, man. I don't even
Probably throw
know.
out some more dope content for 81st Dad.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do for my birthday. My birthday's in July, so we'll see. We'll see what opens up.
You're gonna be like me, have a quarantine birthday, bro.
What'd you do again?
I stayed home, bro. I couldn't
That
even
was
do
it.
anything. My birthday was May 10th. We couldn't do anything. I couldn't even have family over, man.
Dang, I swear we did something. I don't
We
know.
didn't do anything. That was last year.
Sad. Oh damn.
No.
All right, man. Anything else you want to add to this episode? Anything you've been
Yeah,
seeing going on?
to those that watch, thank you for liking, sharing, and just overall just watching. If you guys have anything, like you said earlier, that you want us to speak upon, we'd really like the suggestions. You guys could drop it in the comments or just shoot us a message because we will answer as soon as we can. Other than that, that's all I have to say.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So make sure to subscribe, share, like with people that you think might enjoy this type of stuff. And we're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna keep talking about everything going on in the world, and we hope to keep growing and keep getting better, and make the most out of summer.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah.
shout out to Jimmy O Yang, and if you could share this video, it'd be pretty dope, brother. We're both
Maybe
Yangs too.
we
Me
are.
too, Christian.
We are. We're connected somehow. Cool. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all watching. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to get notified for the next episode. But until then, see you on episode 4. Peace out.
Peace.